שנתת בי באוראי. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי באוראי. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי
ואתה בשמרה בקרבי. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praise are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch ata Adonai, asher beyado, nefesh kol chai, beruach kol basar ish. On page 198, the Daily Miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ma'abir sharumim, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, anoten layaf koach, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ma'avir shena me'enai uduma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorin, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oseh Yisrael b'gvura, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oseh Yisrael b'tifara, amen.
On page 204, please join me for the blessing for the study of Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
O Adonai, our
God,
God,
let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael.
between pages 206, 207, and also on page 211. You can find short pieces for Torah study, and I invite you to dedicate to yourself just 1 minute for a silent Torah study. On page 213, הריני מזמן את פי להודות ולהלל ולשבח את בוראי. With this I prepare myself to thank, praise, and glorify my Creator. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of life, whom we praise with songs of glory. Baruch atah Adonai, melech meulal ותשבחות. On page 214, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, אללי לי מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, לזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדיך, באמונתך בלילות.
One of the things that we try to do during the Psukei, the Zimbra, the Song of Praise, we try to connect with joyful spaces, joyful ideas in our lives. And sometimes joy comes as a scream of excitement, but sometimes joy is actually something very silent. So, a bit more silently, today we invite you to think about what are these joyful places for you? What is your joyful place in life? And to dwell there for a few moments. Ashrei yoshbei veitecha od yalelucha sela. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They forever praise you. Ashrei
yoshvei
invite you to continue with the reading of Ashrei silently, or to close your eyes and to go to that joyful place for you. Trying to convert our entire presence, our entire being in a song of blessing, in a song of praise. We are at the bottom of page 216.
Tehilat Adonai yidaber pi veyivarech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam ba'ed v'anachnu nevarech Yah me'ata ve'ad olam. אחיה ואתה ועד עולם. הללויה,
Page 218, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 Eperkocho, Hallelujah, Bekia Ozo, Hallelujah, Bigvorata. There's a tradition that adds to the songs of praise on Saturday morning a wonderful poem on page 625. Adon Olam. We add Adon Olam to the songs of praise. And we want to introduce you to a very simple and very slow melody. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא, בחפצו כל עשי מלך, שמו נקרא. אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא, בחפצו כל עשי מלך, שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, בלא עוז, והמזרח, והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי, ועת צרה, והוא ניסי, ומנוס לי, ונת כוסי, ויום אחד. בידו אפתיד רוחי, ועת אישה ועינה, ועם רוחי כביתי, אדוני, אשר מלך ותרן כל יציר נברא להתנשא בחפצו כל עשי מלך שמו נקרא We turn our sidurim back to page 223. ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר ושירי זמרה, מלך אלכי העולמים, praise are you, sovereign of wonders, crowned in adoration, delighting in song, eternal majesty. Page 224.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא יפרח ירטה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתך בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
On page 226, please rise as we ask for the gates of prayer to be open with Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך,
Read together on page 228 in English.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai! In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
We are on page 230. Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahava Rava, Ahavtanu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us. Adonai Eloheinu. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us. Adonai Eloheinu. Ahava Rava,
Ahava Rava,
Ahava Rava,
Ahava Rava,
Ahava Rava,
Ahava Rava,
Ahavtanu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. At the bottom of page 230. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, were wonders you chose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel with a barava, with a deep love. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher be'amo Israel be'ahava. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 We're on page 234.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם נאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
We're on page 236. Adonai said to Moses as follows: Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Adonai and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמן.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ויציב וחביב ונורא ואדיר בטוב ויפה, הדבר עשה עלינו לעולם בהד. We continue with the reading over page 238, and you can find wonderful alternative readings on page 239. In this Torah portion, Parashat Chukat, we learn about time of crisis. We learn about the death of Miriam, the death of Aaron. We learn a lot about anger. We spoke about anger yesterday night. And we also learn about moving forward, because eventually Moses becomes the one who leads the people of Israel, nurses the people of Israel, as Miriam did, and becomes the spiritual leader also of the people of Israel, as Aaron was. But if there is something that we can take out of this Torah portion as a little reflection, is that it speaks about lots of things that we try to avoid. We try not to talk and not to think about our anger and our times of crisis. We try to ignore those times. We try to delete them from our minds. We many times don't deal with death. We just keep it somewhere. We don't deal with that. And we don't always know how to move forward. So somehow we become prisoners of the things that we are trying to avoid in our lives. When we sing Mi Chamocha, we are not just thinking about the Red Sea. We are thinking about personal redemption. We are thinking about those cages, those places that are making us hide in our lives, those things that we are avoiding, and how to overcome those obstacles. We are on page 240.
עד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו
אדוני ימלוך לעם בעת צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ובני גנומך יהודה בישראל גואלנו נצבות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני God for redeeming Israel on page 242 please rise for תפילת עמידה
Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך. מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי אני אדוני אלוהיכם ימלוך אדוני לעולם קדושתך, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא יבוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבודך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כבודך. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד.
ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וכל הענקים מקדש בי, כולם ישמחו בטובך וישפיעו על זה. עמדת ימין עוד קדעת זכר לבשר בראשית. אנו לעבודנו ואימותינו עושים את מנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותקנו בתורתך וסבינו מטובך ושומרי לבנו לעבדך באמת. ואחינו לעילנו באהבה ורצון בתשמות קדשך וישראל בקדשי אדוני מקדש שבח. ויצא אדוני אלוהינו בך וישראל. בית תקווה, בטיל רצון תמיד, עבודת ישראל עמך, אל קרוב לכל קורף, אל עבדך וחנן, ותחזירנו לשמך לציון, ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, וכן לציון, מודים אנחנו לך שאתה אדוני אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו לעם בארץ, צורכינו בכל משפט. נכון. נודה לך לסבור דלתך וחיינו, בידיך, בעל נשמתנו. ערב בוקר צהריים, מה טוב, כי לך לכל חמך. ועל רחמים, כי לא תמו חסדיך מעולם, קיווינו לך, ועל כולם יתברך ותמם, שמך מלכנו. That's pretty kind. Thank you very much. I was thinking about the sentence, "Lo tamu chasadecha," that we say in the Amidah, that your kindness never fails. And look at you bringing me the bottle. But, you know, sometimes when we daven the Amidah, you can't stop in one sentence, something that speaks to you this time, this idea of a never-ending kindness in a world in which we so often say, I have done enough. I have done enough. So it's never enough. We always can try to do more, especially when we are talking about kindness. We're on page 260. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We turn our Sidurim to page 362 in order to start our Torah service, and I will invite you to rise as soon as we open the ark.
Oh.
It takes a time activity, so then people get
I
impatient.
can wait.
Please rise.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh,
Oh no!
I am fine. I am fine. Have you seen a flying rabbi? I hope this is not being recorded, Jesse. Okay, there's a Torah there. There's a Torah there. Forgive me, I am fine. Thank you so much for caring. There's a Torah. En kamocha Elohim
Adonai, ve'en kema'asecha, malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshatecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimlach le'olam va'ed, Adonai os le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Echad Eloheinu gadol, Adonenu kadosh shemo. Gadu Adonai iti, uneromem shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetach v'haor. Ki cho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki cho b'shamayim. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Don't do it again. Shabbat shalom. He's a resilient rabbi. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Thank God. invite in a second, Rabbi Art to introduce us to our Torah reading. It's fine. So let's acknowledge 1 second that I almost killed myself in public a second ago, and raising the spirit of this room to a different level, to somewhere else. Now, there are, when I was studying education, I learned an interesting thing that when a kid tumble with a table, when you get stuck in a table, tumble with a table, the parents can come and say, "This is a very evil table," and blame the table, or they can come and say, next time you better watch. So you can blame the table or the speaker, or you can take personal responsibility and say, I wasn't looking, and the object was in a place that they didn't expect it, and I own it. So I own it. I own it. It's my absolute responsibility. Flying, but what a fly, right? What a fly. So thank you for caring. I am fine. All my teeth are in place. So we can let that go. Thank you, Henry, for adjusting, reconfiguring this space. I think it looks safer. No, it's a good idea to put it in the middle. Let's remember it for next time. And let's now, introduce the Torah service. Thank you very much.
Rabbi Nico was kind enough to give me an option for today. He said you can either speak for 5 to 7 minutes, or you can have a discussion for 10. So I had to think. I want to hear my own voice, or I want to hear your voice for 10. I decided on the latter. So I'd like to have a little discussion. 15. Do I hear 20? Do I hear 25? No, I don't think. I don't want to push it, or I won't be invited back. So in this parsha, Chukat, and I didn't hear what you said last night, unfortunately, about anger. I wasn't here. But what is the incident that connects the discussion of anger with our Torah portion? Anybody know? Moses hits the rock. And what does he? What are the circumstances? Okay. Can everybody hear? Everybody hear you?
We are live casting.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, you were saying? Or maybe we should, actually, a better idea would be, let's do this. Okay. So, tell me the circumstances again, please.
I think the Israelites were getting upset that there wasn't enough water for them in the desert, and God tells Moses to go to the rock, speak to the rock, and water will come forth. And instead of doing that, Moses hits the rock, and water comes forth, but he suffers the consequences.
And which are?
Which are not being able to lead the Jewish people into the land of Israel.
Okay, great. Do you remember what he says to them before he hits the rock?
No.
Okay, anybody remember what he says? What Moses says to the people before he hits the rock? He says, Shim'u na hamorim, listen, you rebels. Hamin hasela hazeh notzi lachem mayim. Should we bring forth water from you? So the rabbis look at this statement and they say, well, there's several problems with it. Number one, he calls them rebels. What kind of a leader calls the people, speaks harshly about the people? That's a no-no. Number two, he says, shall we bring water from the rock, as if he's going to do it, not God. Okay. Number three, as you pointed out, it's not what God told him to do. And number 4, the rabbis say, well, you know, the problem with this incident was that he'd lost control. He was an old, frustrated man, and he no longer knew how to deal with the people. But from this incident, the rabbis talk about anger. And I want to introduce the discussion of anger with a question. What is the typical Jewish view of how we should behave with respect to any emotion? Well, I'm not speaking specifically about anger. Any emotion. What's the model? If I were to tell you the Rambam, Maimonides, is well known for suggesting that there's a model of behavior that Jews, whether it be almost any emotion in our lives, should we be, if we're talking about wisdom, is the model in Judaism to spend all of your time studying so that you will be as wise as possible? No. When it comes to health, should we spend 18 hours a day working out and 8 hours a day sleeping and do nothing else? No. Okay, so what am I getting at here? What's the model? Okay, moderation, okay? Our goal is to engage in moderation in almost anything. But the rabbis say there are a couple of things, just a few, in which that rule does not apply. And one of them is anger. Another one is pride, and some say hatred. But everybody agrees that anger is an exception to the moderation target for us. So why? What is the problem? And here I want to get into a discussion. Why would they say that?
Clouds your judgment.
How so?
When you're angry, you're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking about what the consequences of your actions are.
Okay. So anything else? Any other problem with anger? We lose our ability to judge. Well, the rabbi does get to speak even though he doesn't have a microphone.
The question is about moderation in anger, but not about completely getting rid of anger. You probably need to experience some level of anger if you want to function.
Why?
Because it's about moderation. If you don't experience anger, it might mean that you don't care. Okay. That you have no sentiments.
Okay. So are you disagreeing with the principle, the traditional rabbinic view, and I think it's still the majority rabbinic view, that anger is never justified? That is the traditional. Okay, so you disagree? Okay.
We have.
She has a microphone.
Oh, I do. It's not
Oh,
on.
okay.
There we go. There's a reason why we have anger management, not like anger disappear completely, because we have emotions that we need to express or else we will not be okay mentally. And it will come out in an even worse way if we suppress it.
Okay, can you give an example of that?
Oh gosh. Yeah. If say you're hanging out with a friend and they say that, oh wow, that was something stupid to say, and you don't say anything, or like, wow, that was rude, but I'm not going to say anything about it. It's fine. I don't have to say anything. But then they keep kind of making snide comments to you. You keep not saying anything, but it keeps like that frustration and anger is building up inside you. And then one day they say another like little snide comment, and you're like, okay, that's enough. And then you explode.
Okay. So let me read you a
That's a mild, off the top of my head.
A very short
example.
poem by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. I thought that was nice. So According to Rashi, you can get angry. You tell the person why you're angry, and then you let it go. If the person doesn't do teshuvah and act properly, then you can take further action. But what you can't do is keep it inside, like you're suggesting, because that would be violation of the mitzvah to not hold a grudge against your brother in your heart. Okay? All right? Okay.
But using anger and channeling it into a positive way to diffuse the whole situation is better for both parties. And thereby you would be able to incorporate a lesson that would be learned through two people from one point of anger.
Okay, so I think that's an extension. There's a benefit to telling people that you're angry with them. So I said that the majority view, at least halakhically, seems to be that there is no justification for anger. What about Moses coming down from the mountain and smashing the tablets? So the rabbis say, well, it was okay for him to act like he was angry because the people were out of control and he needed to do something dramatic to sort of shock them, but internally he needed to maintain his calm. He couldn't lose it. There's no justification for losing control, even if you sometimes have to act like you're losing control. That's the majority view. The minority view is that no, it's not only okay, but in times it's appropriate to get angry. Somebody does something immoral, there's abuse, whatever. You can get angry for the right reason, for the right period of time, react proportionately, not overreact, okay, and then let it go, okay? But nobody says that anger is okay in moderation, okay? It's either not at all or only for the right reason, for the right time. Okay, Sarah, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so the Talmud tells an interesting story, tragic story about a man who, in times of great privation, invited 3 guests to his home, and all he had to offer was 3 eggs. He left the room, and while he was gone, each of the guests offered his young son their egg. He comes back into the room, and he sees the son has 1 egg in his mouth and the other 2 in his hands. He gets so enraged that he picks up the son and throws him to the ground and kills him. His wife sees this, goes up on the roof and jumps off the roof, and he then commits suicide. So this is the example of what can happen in a moment if you lose control. So anger is extremely dangerous. So what should we do if we feel ourselves getting angry? There's an idea in Musar, that the Musar being the Jewish tradition or philosophy of right conduct and how to engender that in ourselves, of learning to be sensitive to one's emotions and trying to step outside of them for a moment when you feel some emotion coming on you, to create that separation for a moment that you can stop, take a deep breath, and refrain from instantly reacting, and then do what you have to do, whether you count to 10, or you step outside, or you deep breathe. You consider the consequences of what you're doing, and this is a way to train ourselves to avoid this anger. How many of you have seen the movie Ushpizin, about the time in Jerusalem and Sukkot, where the main character and his wife they have unexpected guests? How many? Just raise your hand if you've seen that movie. Okay, a minority. Okay, so yeah, it's a wonderful movie, and I'll just tell you briefly. He's a ex-convict, and he's trying to rehabilitate himself, and the guests drive him crazy. He goes to his rabbi and asks for guidance. Those of you who've seen the movie, what does the rabbi say? What is the prayer that the rabbi prays for him? May God keep us from anger. So it's I'll save it for the movie. So getting back to Moses, Moses did not control his anger, and it says in Genesis. Do you remember what does God say when Cain kills Abel? And Abel says, Cain says, "Am I my brother's keeper?" and so on. And what does God say about what he's done? That's related to this idea of controlling your anger. God says, "Sin crouches at the door, but you can be its master." Right? So the principle in Judaism is, yes, we are always tempted by our evil inclination in various guises, including anger, but it's up to us to control. And how do we know that we can control our anger? Imagine that you're screaming at your spouse. You're a salesperson, you're screaming at your spouse, the phone rings, and it's the prospective client that you asked to call you that night at home. Do you think that you would continue screaming? No, you would suddenly control yourself and have a pleasant conversation with the prospective client. Or if you were, God forbid, you were mugged on the road, somebody takes a knife, and you were very angry at this, would you scream at that person? No, you would control yourself so you didn't get stabbed. So in almost every case, unless you have a psychological impediment, we are able to control our anger. And it's our obligation to do that. Anybody want to, I'll conclude with that unless anybody wants to, any other comment? Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Okay. So where is my... So our Torah portion is on page 1145. Are we starting from the beginning? Okay. Ya'amod Aliyah Rishona, Herschel ben Avraham, Florence HaKohen, Henry Cohen. Okay, and our reader, okay, Nitza. It is on 1145.
Baruch hu et Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור זאת חוקת התורה אשר ציווה אדוני לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ויקחו אליך פרה אדומה תמימה אשר אין בה מום אשר לא עלה עליה עול ונתתם אותה לאל אלעזר הכהן והוציא אותם אל מחוץ למחנה ושחט אותה לפניו לקח אלעזר הכהן מדמה באצבעו והיזה אל נוכח פני אוהל מועד מדמה 7 פעמים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. L'Aliyah Ashena. David ben Moshe Tzivia, David Kirshen. Tzivia. Okay. Okay, line 5, 1145. Oh, okay. Gabby is our Ba'alat.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'char banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et torato.
Amen.
Amen. V'saraf et hapara le'enayv et ora ve'et besara ve'et dama al pirsha yisrof ve'lakach hakohen etz erez ve'ezov ushni tolaat ve'hishlich el toch zerefat hapara ve'chibes begadav hakohen ve'rachatz besaro b'mayim ve'achar yivo el hamachane. Yep. V'tameh hakohen ad harev.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ya'amod l'aliyah ha'shlishit. Benjamin Genisha ben Shmaryahu, Bert Silver. We are on verse Chet, so verse 8 on 1145. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Amen.
Amen. Ve'hasoref otah yechabes begadav b'mayim ve'rachat beisaro b'mayim ve'tameh ad ha'arev ve'asa ishtaho et efer hapara ve'hiniach nechut lamachane be'makom tahor ve'ha'ita la'adat benis Yisrael lemishmeret lemenada chatati ve'chibes osef et efer habara et begadav ve'tameh ad ha'arev ve'hayeta livnei Yisrael ve'lager Agar betocham lechukat olam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, before we do the maftir, let's say Mishu Barak for the aliyot. It's on page 370. Mishu Barak Avoteinu Avraham Yitzhak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et kol hakroim asher alu hayom lichvod hamakom lichvod haTorah v'lichvod haShabbat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yivarech otam et mishprotecham V'yishlach bracha v'chatzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedechem im kol Yisrael aechem v'nomar Amen. May all who bless our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all of those who have come for an aliyah with reverence for God and respect for the Torah and Shabbat. May the Holy One bless them and their families and prosper all their deeds together with all our fellow Jews everywhere. And let us say, Amen. Now, prayer for healing. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, hu yivarech et. HaKodesh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Alehem V'Hachal Imam U'Rapotam U'Hachazikam V'Yishlach Lachem Mechera Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashtaba Agala U'Vizman Kariv V'Numar Amen. May the one who bless our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah bless and heal all those whose names were mentioned, and all those who are ill and in need of healing. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. So when someone has a little incident like just happened up there, we have two traditions in Judaism. The first one is we say, did you have a nice trip?
See you next fall.
Ooh. And the other one is, if you wish, you can say, Birkat HaGomel. But if you don't say it, you don't give us an opportunity to thank God that you weren't injured. Right. Okay. So we're on page 371.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shegmar lanu kol tov.
And we all respond, Amen, mi shegemalchem kol tov, hu yigmalchem kol tov. Selah. May the one who has bestowed goodness upon us continue to bestow every goodness upon us forever. Okay, so we are now at the Maftir, and that is on page 1163. And I'm not sure which line we're starting
34.
on. 34. Okay, so Vayomer Adonai. Okay, so as you may have heard, line 34, and okay, Ya'amod Aaron Moshe ben Avraham Verita, Mark Silverstein, Lalia Maftir, Lalia Amaftira.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach. Baruch Adonai HaBarach L'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe al tira oto ki v'yadcha natati oto ve'et kol amo ve'et artso ve'asita lo kasher asita l'sichon melech hamori asher yoshev b'cheshbon vayaku oto ve'et banav ve'et kol amo ad bilti tishir lo sarid Hirshi lo sarid vayirshu et artso vayis ubanav vayis ubnei Yisrael vayachanu be'arvot Moav me'ever li'arden Yericho.
Before you close your books, keep it open to 1165. I'm going to refer to the map there.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam notah b'tohenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, who is doing Chagbah? Okay. Yamdu ha-hagba veha. Who's doing the?
Golel.
Golel or Golela? You doing it? Okay.
I'm Golel.
Please rise as we wrap and dress the Torah.
And then you go up. Yeah. Make a squat.
Yeah, push down.
Make a squat.
So ta Torah Hashem Lifnei b'nei Yisrael Adonai Be'ad Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe Torah, 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 Torah Tzivah lanu Moshe.
Maybe seated.
Okay, our Haftarah is on page 1269, 1268, 1269. Okay, so very briefly, this is from the book of Judges, and it tells the story, not necessarily theological. God is mentioned, but it's part of the defense and part of the conquest. The situation was quite messy. We were being threatened by the Ammonites, and we hired a ne'er-do-well named, the people hired a ne'er-do-well, strong warrior, Jephthah. It's harder to say in English than in Hebrew, I think. Anyway, so I asked you to keep your books open to 1165 because Henry's going to read a portion of it, and there are references to the territories that are in here, so it'll be easier to follow if you have the geography in mind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza b'divrehem v'ne'amarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'moshe avdo Yisrael amo v'midei ha'emet v'tzedek. Say amen. And you're going to read starting at verse 12. It's the unit of the story we're telling. It starts at 12 on 1269.
So I have to tell you, I love this Haftarah portion, and you'll see why in a moment. Jephthah then sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites, saying, "What have you against me, that you have come to make war on my country?" The king of the Amorites replied to Jephthah's messengers, "When Israel came from Egypt, they seized the land which is mine, from the Arnon to the Jabbok, as far as the Jordan. Now then, restore it peacefully." Jephthah again sent messages to the king of the Ammonites. He said to him, "Thus said Jephthah, Israel did not seize the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites. When they left Egypt, Israel traveled through the wilderness to the Sea of Reeds and went on to Kadesh. Israel then sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, "Allow us to cross your country." But the king of Edom would not consent.
As he's reading this, look on 1165 and look at the dotted line on the far right that skirts the eastern part of the Jordan. That's what he's referring to.
So Israel, after staying at Kadesh, traveled on through the wilderness, skirting the land of Edom and the land of Moab. They kept to the east of the land of Moab until they encamped on the other side of their Arnon. And since Moab ends at the Arnon, they never entered the Moabite territory. Then Israel sent messages to King Sihon of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon. Israel said to him, "Allow us to cross through your country to our homeland." But Sihon would not trust Israel to pass through his territory. Sihon mustered all his troops, and they encamped at the Jahaz. He engaged Israel in battle. But the Lord, the God of Israel, delivered Sihon and all his troops into Israel's hands, and they defeated them. And Israel took possession of all the land of the Ammonites, the inhabitants of that land. Thus they occupied all the territory of the Ammonites, from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness to the Jordan. Now then, the Lord, the God of Israel, dispossessed the Ammonites before his people Israel, and should you possess their land? Do you not hold that Shemash, your God, gives you to possess? So we will hold on to everything that the Lord our God has given us to possess. So, in my mind, if this isn't Zionism and the rule of gods, including our enemies' gods, to bestow and give us land, then this to me is the justice of being and occupying the land. What is good for our enemies is certainly good for us. And in this case, this is justification for conquering the land because your enemies came out to fight you and you beat them. It's not a question of you possessing the land illegally. So that's my take on this Torah portion. You like this one?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'amim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh medaber ve'mkayem shechol divarav emet v'tzedek. Al haTorah v'al avodah v'anviim v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu litushav limnucha lekavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach v'merachim otach yitbarach shemcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat.
Now please rise as we return the Torah to the ark. I'm doing it. We're on page 374. Etz chaimi lamachasik ima v'tomcheya. Let me show you. Shalom. Now we are on page 586 for Aleinu Leshaveach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו היראת, אמץ מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Shel Korach. You may be seated. At this point of our service, we dedicate a moment to acknowledge mourners within our community. If you are during the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, please rise. If you are during the first 30 days of mourning, Shloishim, please rise. You are remembering? If you are during the first year of mourning, please rise. If you are remembering this week a Yortzeit, observing a Yortzeit this week, please rise. Now you can support our fellows by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices and your hearts on page 598 for Mourners Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ואלמה דברך חילותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשם, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דא אמירם בעלמה באמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. עושה שלום באמרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. May the memories of your dear ones be a living blessing in your life. זיכרונם לברכה. You may be seated. So, a few announcements. So for those that were wondering, the Pride Parade in Orange County is starting 30 minutes ago in Santa Ana. So If you want to participate in the Pride Parade, and you have time this afternoon, you might go to Santa Ana. Somebody asked me, why should a religious leader encourage people to go to a Pride Parade? The answer, quite simple. We had this conversation also once, right? Why we should, and the answer is quite simple. In any place where human beings are told that they have somehow less value, our religious obligation is to remind everybody that men and women were created in the image of God. And that's why, because discrimination against gay people and even against all kinds of people is so present in our world, it is our obligation, our religious obligation, to remind everybody that we love and we celebrate all human creations. Now, next week for Friday night, we'll have an outdoor Kabbalat Shabbat. The children from Gesher, we have just a few children coming this summer, will help us a little bit in leading the service. So I encourage you to come for a more relaxed Kabbalat Shabbat, an outdoors Kabbalat Shabbat. And on Friday, July 6th, we will celebrate Shabbat with a Shabarbecue, which means those are the names that Miriam comes up with. They are very interesting. Shabarbecue. Shabarbecue means that we are taking some. You really? No, we're fine. Ah, thank you. So for Shabarbecue, Shabarbecue basically means that because 6th of July, 4th of July is 2 days before, we'll bring some of the spirit of 4th of July and the celebration of American independence into our service. We'll sing some American songs, we will eat some barbecue, and we'll have a wonderful community gathering. Two more things that you need to know about the month of July. On July 21st, we are going to remember Tisha B'Av. For Tisha B'Av, it's customary to sit on the floor, but if you need a chair, we'll make sure that you have a chair. And we'll have a very interesting and very pretty musical program led by Gabi, with featuring music of Joy Weisenberg, the leading singer of Machon Adar in New York, who is making lots of wonderful Jewish music. And in addition, Lisa Armoni from the Rose Project will be back from her trip to Israel, and we'll try to talk about this connection, this broken connection between Jerusalem and some of us, and how we build that connection, which is one of the most important topics of Tisha B'Av. Al Narot Babel Yeshavnu V'Sham Bachinu, by the waters of Babylon we sat, and there we cry. So, and the last Shabbat of the month of July is going to be the celebration of love in Judaism, Tu B'Av, and we will have a French dinner with, that's the loving thing. So we'll have a French dinner. Make sure that you RSVP. You can RSVP already. And some music emphasizing love. Of course, some special songs from the Song of the Songs and that kind of stuff. Last and very important thing. This week, we will have a temple, Beth Tikvah. So the homelessness gathering of the city of Fullerton. Different groups of faith have been working over the last couple of months in trying to find answers to the problem of homelessness. And FEMA, Fullerton Interfaith Ministry Association, to which Rabbi Art and I belong and participate very actively, is a very meaningful partner in trying to create a conversation around the city over the topic of homelessness. So the city of Fullerton, about a month ago, made a program of 2 gatherings. The first one was in the public library of the city. There were representatives from all the faiths, many clergy, and it was a very important gathering. And the second one is this week here at Temple Beth Tikvah. Now I will be here, and I was there with one more person from our synagogue, but because it's in our synagogue, I encourage you to come. I encourage you to come. The gathering is on Tuesday, June 26th at 3 p.m. What? And flyers are out in the table. And if you can't come, don't worry. You're represented. I'll be here. If you can come, I'd love to have your company. So we are, yes. What? Yeah, that was a. We'll have a different pet service. It's going to be Parashat Noach. So we are going to conclude our service. There is a sentence that is jumping to my mind, coming to my mind in the last couple of weeks quite often. It's the Be'asuli Mikdash V'shachanti Betocham. This idea that we need to build a sanctuary in order to let God live, dwell among us, and how much we need these sanctuaries, how much we need to create sanctuaries with our presence, with our communities, and how relevant is in our conversation here in America today the word sanctuary cities, synagogues and churches that are becoming sanctuaries for people that are in need. So, Be'asuli Mikdash V'shachanti Betocham. Be'asuli Mikdash
V'shachanti Betocham.
May God give us the sense to find the strength to create peace and a more inclusive society. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.